You're listening to In the Room Podcasts with Rima and Rachel.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of In the Room Podcast. I'm Rachel.
And I am Rima. Good morning.
Good morning, Rima.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Good.
doing well.
Well, so I wanted to chat to you today and just kind of see how you feel about it too, because I have been going through. So, as all of you know, my mom passed away a couple years ago. We spoke about it in a podcast a while back. And it's been, so this is 2 years out. And I'm not one, um, I'm not one personally. Everybody grieves differently. I'm not one to I don't wake up every morning and I'm sad that she's
Yeah.
gone. I'm not sad. I miss certain things, but I'm not sad. But something else has been transforming in these last couple of years. So let me backtrack. When my mom had to move in with us when we had dementia, and I'm just letting everybody else out there know, Rachel's sister did estate sales and things like that. And I was ready to kind of clear my mom's house out. And so I contacted Rachel and, she came over and we walked through my mom's house. And before everything happened, and kind of we did one of these, she's like, walk through, see if there's anything that speaks to you or your kids. Great advice. She took something that I told her she could have that I've wanted back now for a long time. She won't give it back, but that's a whole nother podcast. But anyway,
That's a whole other podcast.
that's a whole other podcast. So anyway, and I was okay with a lot of this stuff going just because we had a household of things too. Her furniture didn't clash. It clashed with mine. It was, not that it
Yeah.
wasn't great. It was just different. Okay. So years later, there's several things that I'm noticing that I miss or that maybe I could have used. And so I love to go to antique malls. And Rachel has opened up a booth at an antique mall, even though acting is her primary and that's what
Yep.
she does. She's always had a passion for antiques.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the dilemma, Rachel, and this is the weirdest thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's hear it.
lately, I have been walking through and I've been seeing things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom had something like that. Oh my gosh. And in the beginning, it was just a discussion of, oh my gosh, my mom had something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom used to have these you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Amaranth fruit.
Yes.
Okay. A big bowl of them. And so for those of you that don't know what they're out there, there's glass, but then there's amaranth. And amaranth is more like a stoned fruit. It looks really pretty. It can take on many different colors. And so you can have a peach and it can be carvable as opposed to glass, which is blown. So my mom had these bowls of amaranth fruit. And a couple of weeks ago, my daughter was at an antique store and she found these amaranth grapes. And she gave them to me. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So since then, I now have a bowl of amaranth fruit because I've been shopping and hunting for them.
Yeah.
Do I need them? No. Do they remind me of my childhood? Yes. Am I frustrated that I have to go rebuy them because I got rid of them? 100%. Did I want them at the time? No. Now, I don't know if it's a place in time that's important to me or it's that I'm getting a little older and I'm reminiscing more, but now I'm beginning to want to hunt down the things that my mom had in her house. They don't go in my house. They don't belong here. But there's this void inside of me now that wants to take back
Right.
all the things I gave away.
Right.
And I'm a little frustrated at myself for giving those things away because hindsight being 2020,
Sure.
why did I do that? And you own a place. When I was walking through the antique store the other day, I looked around and I looked at my girlfriend and I said, "This is so weird to be in here because one day our things are going to be in here." And I said, "But how weird, like as an antique person, collector, you don't know what to collect because not everything is for everybody. Some things are really weird and they go. Other things are super amazing, but they're just not wanted right now. But there's a collector for each collectible out there.
Sure.
So as
Yeah.
an antique owner,
Yeah.
you bring your things in and you go, I kind of like these things. They make me happy, but they may not make anybody in that antique mall happy that's walking through until you find the perfect collector for the perfect little thing that's sitting on the shelf."
Yeah.
So, on a business standpoint, you take in everything you can and hope you sell it. On my standpoint, I'm now on the hunt. I think I need to stop. And I don't think I'm going to go and buy many more things. But like my mom had a bunch of stoles, mink stoles. I kept one, got rid of all the others. I happen to live in a place now where mink is worn a lot and it's valued. These are coats that already are existing that have been
Vintage.
existing
Right.
since
Right.
the
Right. This is
30s.
like
So
vintage mink
they're
and,
not being remade for me. I'm looking,
right.
but all of a sudden I'm on the hunt for minks, old ones. I'm trying
Yeah.
to recreate something. Do you get it? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Does
Yeah.
anybody out there feel that
100%
way?
remember I grew up around antiques and my parents loved antiques. Anytime we went anywhere on vacation or whatever, there was always some sort of aspect of history and going into an antique store. And so I've always loved that. And now that I have a booth and I'm actually working at the store, at the front counter, the story that you are telling is what I hear repeated over and over again.
Really?
Nostalgia sells. We
Interesting.
are and we are looking to fulfill that. There was a woman in the store the other day and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like I had this plate when I was a kid and my granddaughter used it and it got broken and I'm debating whether or not to get it." But it was like
Mm,
she wasn't getting it because the plate was beautiful. 'Cause
right.
it was kind of a kid plate, it wasn't gorgeous, it wasn't Limoges, it wasn't, one of these incredible brands, it wasn't from the
Right.
1750s, but it was because she had it as a child and it was, an important connection to her. We get people in there, "Oh my gosh, my grandma had these. I remember going to my grandma's house and we had dinner on these every Sunday night, and I've been
Wow.
looking for this pattern again." So it's what you're saying is very common. It's kind of that thread that connects us to our past, to the
Mm.
people that we loved, and maybe, there's there's a saying that
I'm gonna say this saying really quick. You've gotta lose it to find it, right?
well, I love that. I love that, and that wasn't
Right?
exactly what I was saying, but it was talking about kind of giving yourself time in your grief before you make any big decisions. And at the time when you went through selling your mom's house, her home, and the things
Mhm.
that were in it, that's when she had moved into your place.
Right.
So it wasn't that you were grieving the loss of her, but I think we can act too rashly
Mhm.
and then maybe, then like you said, hindsight being 2020, you kinda regret some of those really quick decisions that you made. Like, I held on to actually, I had found and I have these for you. I had found these film canisters that your dad
Mhm.
had that were filled with coins, and I'm like, "Look, I don't know, Rima, if you're gonna want these. I don't know if Raymond's gonna want these, but I'm taking these." I didn't even pay you for them. I'm like, "I'm taking these and I'm holding on to these because you may want these
You
at
just
some
stole
point."
them from me.
I stole them from you. 100% stole them from
Right.
you,
Right.
you know, in order to give them
Fantastic.
back to you.
It's a good thing you're fessing up now.
Yeah. No, I told you at the time that I'm holding on to these
I
because
know.
I think it's easy when my great-grandfather died, my great-aunt Reen, held a yard sale, like, right after his death, didn't tell there were
Mm.
5 children in that family, my grandfather being one of them, didn't tell anyone. The family didn't find out until the sale had
Oh,
already started
no.
because in her grief, she started getting rid of things. She started purging. That was
I
one of the
get
ways
it. I
that she
I get
started
it.
purging, she started that's how her grief was manifesting for her, was this purge, and the family freaked out,
Oh, I
ran over
bet.
to the house, like, started grabbing all the like, "No, no, 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 no." I went to an estate sale up here, and I was a little frustrated because as I am at the estate sale, one of the granddaughters was like, "Wait, no, I'm so sorry. That wasn't meant to be put out here. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry. That wasn't
no.
me." She started pulling stuff back in,
She was freaking out. She was
and
freaking out.
and another lady next to me was like, "What? Like, what is going on?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But I recognized it for what it was, and so at one point, I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"I am so flustered by all of this. They didn't give us time." Like, grandma just went into an assisted living facility.
Oh, gosh.
The family has been coming over and claiming things that they wanted, but we did not have enough time. Like, why do we have to do this right now?
Yeah.
Why didn't they give us more time? So she's pulling things in as fast as she can because she felt like there wasn't enough time. And I'm like, I totally
Mm-mm.
understand. I totally
Yeah.
understand. So I think, I go to these estate sales all the time, and I'm always struck. We don't know what's happened. Has the parent gone into assisted living
Right.
facility? Are they just moving? Have they passed away?
Right.
What has happened to cause this? There is an element of
I mean, sometimes people just, I mean, I'm going to be blunt. Sometimes people just need the money.
sometimes people just need the money,
Right.
but
And
there
they don't have the option to sit on it. They don't have the money for storage. They
no.
don't know what to hold on to.
Yeah.
Although I will say, now that you've kind of said this and you see that it's this pattern over and over, two things that strike me. One, maybe it's okay that I got rid of things because maybe now in my grown uphood, the hunt has meaning.
Yeah.
Where before I'd go to antique stores and I would find things just because they were cool or other people were collecting them. But
Yeah.
my family had that already. So I thought, oh, I don't need that. I've grown up with that. I want
Right.
to collect my own thing. And so I know people that like collected things that I don't know. I would go with a group of friends and they all collected different things. And I mean, they're going to probably listen to this podcast. They know who they are. You know who you are. And, and it's great because y'all know that I never collected anything. So I would go with you guys and I didn't know what to buy at the antique store. They'd all be going like, I got to go look for the trays or I got to go look for the plates or I've got to go look for the birds. And I'd be like, I don't know what the frick to look for. So I'd come up with like one little like, I don't know, creamer. Is this cool, you guys? Like, I didn't know what to collect. So I would just buy these random things that go, oh, yeah, that's cool. But now there's meaning for me to go back and hunt for my past, which is like what people do when they, when they are historians and they do legacy projects and they're hunting for their past, even though
Right.
they know a lot of it, they're hunting for it to put it together. So
Mhm.
in some ways, I think that for me, that's exciting in some ways too. Maybe I need to approach this a little bit more with joy than kicking myself in the head, like, why did you do it? Now it can be more like, okay, now the hunt's on. Is there something else that's going to spark that that I can take home? I don't need to refill this whole house with my mom's stuff and dad's
No.
stuff.
No.
But the flip side is the generation right below us, I don't know if it's right below us, close to below us, the next generation down. They're minimalists, most of them. It's a
Mhm.
minimalistic generation. Marie
Mhm.
Kondo, all of that, clear it out, get rid of it, doesn't
Mhm.
speak to you, bye bye. And I wonder if our generation under that, so our grandchildren,
Yeah.
are going to have any attachment to things. They might have attachment to the minimalistic things, or they might be the generation that hoards all the old things again because the one
Right,
under us wanted to clear it all out.
right.
But it is interesting because there are certain things that my daughter or my son now will see and they'll go, "Oh, remember when you used to have this in the house or remember when grandma
Yeah,
did?" And I'm like, "Hunt for it. Hunt for it. If I
yeah.
don't have it anymore, just keep little pieces of the memory so that you can talk about those stories with your kids."
100%. I love that so much.
Right?
And that's one of the things that I'm beginning to notice with my own kids. My middle son Ian, he was in the military for a little while and he has a connection to my mom's dad who none of us ever met. He passed away before like my it's a whole story, but anyway, so he passed away before I was ever born. So none of us met him. He died, I think he was 54 years old. But
Wow.
he got the Distinguished Flying Cross in World War II,
Oh,
and
wow.
he was in Pearl Harbor and was part of the, Army Air Corps, so he was there when they were bombed. My mom was born there. Like I said, it's a whole story. So Ian, for some reason, has this connection to my grandfather, Malcolm. My mother has very few things from Malcolm. But my son was over here last year and, I was telling him I've got some, these little silver salt cellars and some other things. I have Malcolm's baby spoon and stuff like that, and he was like, "You need to write these things down. Like, write them down for us." I was talking about other family things, and he's like, "Write these things down for us so that we know what this family history is." And I think I mean, that for me was really exciting just seeing him interested because he is like clean lines, wants black lacquer furniture, like
Yeah,
that whole
totally.
thing. But then that he would want these things and
Yes.
want to know about these things was like, yes. One of the cool things that I'm beginning to see working at the antique mall is we are getting a lot of younger, 20s, early 30s people in there, which is so neat to see. There was a woman in at Christmas. She had 2 young kids and she was buying all these vintage Christmas things. And she's like, I am
Mhm.
decorating this year for Christmas and I'm going to continue to build. I want all my decorations vintage.
Mhm.
And she was young. She was late 20s,
Wow.
early 30s, and so we're starting to see this resurgence
So
of
great.
that. Yes, I love it. I love it so much. So, I think there's, number 1, there is this drive of nostalgia and what holds us to our past, and I think as the world gets kind of crazy,
Mhm.
as things out there are unstable and we're feeling insecure about our future, we long for those times that we felt secure, that we felt loved, that we felt
Yeah.
warmth, whether it's a connection to your mom or a connection to a grandparent or whatever that may be. We long for that. But then also, as we protect our planet, we see the value in these things and in wanting to not add to the crap that's all over our planet,
Right.
we're beginning to see the value of these beautifully made, oh my gosh, like this woman she's just moved here. She got this incredible mid-century coffee table that was heavy,
Oh.
solid wood. It's going to
Mm.
last her what? If it's been around since probably
Forever.
the '60s or '70s, it's gonna last her
Oh,
another
yeah.
50, 60
Oh, yeah.
years because of the quality, and things just aren't being made in that quality anymore.
Right.
So
There was
I love your
craftsmanship and
perspective.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah, I love your perspective of, do I keep kicking myself over the things that I've let go? There's
Mm.
sadness there for sure. There's a grief
Sure.
there, and I'll give you a little brief story. Um, when I come back to it, your perspective. So, do I keep kicking myself over that, or do I go, the hunt is on?
Mhm.
And I like
Yeah.
the idea of the hunt is on.
Yeah.
This is my story. So, my she was my step grandma, but she was my grandma. Because I loved her like one, and her my she was my step-grandfather's wife, another long story, but I loved these people like grandparents. They
Mhm.
lived in the gold rush country of California in a log cabin. They
Wow.
had wonderful things. Her family had been pioneers in that area, and her sons were very dysfunctional. When Grandma Jeanie passed away, all of those things got sold,
Mm.
given away, thrown away. Pictures
Wow.
that my grandfather had taken of my sister and I when like, the house just got cleared out
Oh,
and dumped
wow.
out. I still grieve the loss of those things
Mm.
because those things were precious to me, knowing that they were precious to Grandma Jean.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she had, like, a dress from her great-grandmother that was from the 1800s, and my sister and I tried to convince her to rescue these things before it was too late.
Yeah.
We had to
And,
let go, and it was just I have no idea
and
where
it
those
is
things are.
interesting. I am, and she's probably going to listen to this too, but I have a cousin who I love dearly, like a sister.
I love your
And,
cousin. She's great.
yep. And so, but when her mom passed, she has kept things, right? And
Yep.
she's still in the grieving process too. Even though it's been a little bit, everybody grieves differently and longer, and she's had a lot of change in her life, and I get that. But we've talked a lot about like keep this, but like get rid of the hospital bed. Like we don't need that anymore. And
Yes.
so it is interesting how people need to let go because I know in my heart there are certain things that she couldn't let go of right away just because she was in the process of trying to just let her brain get wrapped around the fact that this wasn't okay.
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of other things that maybe I would say, because I am definitely one that's not known as being a keeper. And
Yeah.
so I would say get rid of them all. But once again, I'm okay with the hunt. Some people might not be okay with the hunt. They might just need to keep things. They might need to keep things until their parents, until they're gone and their kids go through them and figure out whether they're
Yeah.
valuable. But to your, before we end our podcast, and we haven't even talked about this. Uh, so, so this may or may not come into fruition, guys, because like I said, we're in the room. So I'm just talking to my friend here, but a very good friend of mine, I would love, even though we don't do this and it's not something normal for in the room, I'd love to have her join us in the room because she has created this company called Heirloom Letters. It's just starting, and the whole, I mean, I'd love her to come on and like explain it because it would be great. You would
Yeah.
really, Rachel, you would really like the two of you would be like, oh my gosh, because the whole focus of this company is to be able to do exactly what Ian
Mhm.
needs from you, but simplified. And so she kind of goes through the process of like certain things that need to be done because it can be really overwhelming to
Mhm.
look at everything around and go, okay, I've got to categorize everything and I want my kids to know about this and this and then what
Yes.
happens is you never do any of it.
Right.
It's just so overwhelming that you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take on
Yeah.
this tomorrow or I'll take on that table tomorrow or so anyway, I don't want to tell her story, but I think it might be worth it since we've talked about this to have her come on um and kind of blend the whole purpose behind all of this. Like how do you preserve your legacy whether you have something tangible to pass on or maybe a memory, but there's a whole lot of things that are going on out there with, you know, storybook or whatever it's called, or memento, or all of those things where
Mhm.
you tell
Mhm.
about your life.
Yeah.
Why? So that people don't have to spend 50 million hours doing 23andMe and trying to find their history when they could just read a book, get all the information there, watch a video, something. So things are changing so much and accessibility is so good. But
Yeah.
But I do hope for me, I feel, I mean, I love that we had this talk today because I feel not so guilty anymore. I actually kind of feel like validated and I feel excited
Oh, good.
about the hunt. And if you guys are
Yeah.
out there and anybody has missed something or you've had to actually get rid of family things and you're kind of feeling that gut feeling of like, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that, especially when you've when you go through an antique store and you see your friends gravitate to something that was yours and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing. I've been looking at it." And you want to go, "Wait, wait, no, like not for financial reasons, but because somebody else is now saying it's cool." And
Yeah.
you're kind of like, "Wait, no, do I want it back? Do I not? How cool is it?" So I think pacing ourselves, going on the hunt, but once again, don't go crazy out there. So for
Yeah.
someone like me who has FOMO, the minute somebody says, "Oh, that's shiny. Oh, that's pretty, or that's cool," I will gravitate. I am definitely independent. Don't think that I buckle under peer pressure, y'all, because I don't. But I definitely, yeah, I definitely move toward that. Wow, should I get it again just because somebody else says it? So I think for me, I need to pace myself and go through and go, is it once I get it home though, is it going to bring me joy? Because if somebody else thinks it's cool, but I really never thought it was that cool, then I don't need it. But like that fruit, hunting for that fruit for me was the coolest thing because I
Is
wasn't
it
going to
near
hunt.
you? Is it nearby?
I can step away for a minute, I
I'd love to
guess.
see one.
Really? Let
Yeah.
me see if I
Yeah,
can,
and I think our listeners who end up watching would
but I'm
love
going
to
to
see
have
what
to
you're talking
run.
about.
Okay, I'm going to walk away. Rachel, you can talk to our
Okay.
listeners for a second while I go get it, okay? You
Okay.
talk about something, but I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. Yeah, and I think one of the things that is also important is knowing what is important to you to actually keep. We get a lot of people in the shop that it's very difficult for them to let go of certain items. And I think it's okay to say
Okay, I'm
that
back.
these things are difficult for me to get rid of, so I'm gonna keep this one that's really special and let go of the rest. Because we don't wanna become hoarders, we don't wanna
No,
encourage people to become hoarders, so we wanna keep something that's very special to us when we're getting to the
exactly.
point where we're kind of trying to purge and we're ready to purge.
Okay,
So
so this is first of all, the bowl was the thing that started everything. It's from Italy, and my mom had it and she filled it with fruit. And then the fruit
so
went
this is
away.
her bowl.
This is her bowl. So
Okay.
the bowl used to sit in her room because it brought her joy to see the bowl. She kept telling me to put it out in the living room. And I'm like, Mom, you love this bowl, la, la, la. So here's the bowl. I'm trying to hide the fruit so you don't see the fruit right away, but it's not going to happen. Um, here's the bowl. Hold on.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
those. You see those, okay?
So for
It's
people who are
gorgeous.
listening, it's a beautiful porcelain kind of lattice work bowl that's surrounded by flowers on the rim.
Okay, so here's my Amorite. So here's the peach.
So I think the word that you might actually be looking for is alabaster?
Oh, no, I think there's Amorite and alabaster. Maybe it's alabaster too. Um, here's my banana.
Oh, I love the banana.
Oh, wait, look at the mango. Hold on.
My gosh, I've never seen the mango.
I know I had never seen the mango before, and there's a fig, and then there's these grapes. I mean,
The
it's
grapes are
gorge.
fabulous.
It's
So
gorge.
Rima, you
So,
wanna know something funny?
yeah.
I have some of
Oh,
that in my booth right now.
stop it. Okay, if you have
I have a
any,
pineapple.
okay, can you take a picture of it and send it to me, please?
Yeah,
Because I think I want it. And then you
yeah.
can send me the coins too. I'll just drive out there and see you
Well,
because I want to
we
pick it
need
up.
to so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we'll work
but
that out, but
um
I will take it I'm going into the shop today, and I will take a
okay.
picture, and I will send but I do have because I'm just thinking I have the
Okay.
peach with the cutout,
Okay, I don't need
and I
that.
have the pineapple,
Want the pineapple.
and I have one other thing, and I'm not sure if it's like a whole peach with no cutout or if it's actually an apple. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Well,
That's why I wanted to see it
you
because
will
I
have
was
to let
like,
me
"I
know.
wonder if she's talking about stuff that I have."
You'll have to let me know. But what I was
Yeah.
gonna say was that bowl has been sitting in a room which I've now turned into a really beautiful guest room, and it's been sitting up on the shelf, and it's really pretty.
Mhm.
And then my daughter was I mean, I wasn't even thinking about the fruit. I had forgotten about the fruit, which is now that I think about it, I completely forgot. And one day she goes, "Mom, I found remember grandma had that fruit? I found the glass grapes or something or the stone grape, whatever."
Yeah.
Anyway, she gave them to me, and
Yep.
then the hunt started. Then it was like,
That's
"Oh,"
so cool.
and
I've never seen the grapes.
up until last week,
Yeah.
all those fruits have been in a series of different bowls, glass bowls that I couldn't find the right bowl, and it was driving me crazy, and I couldn't connect the pieces like, "Wait, the bowl that's in her room was the bowl that held the fruit." So it was really
Yes.
kind of a beautiful marriage. Um,
Yes.
and the hunt and the whole thing. I can't go overboard. I could probably do the pineapple, and that's probably the end of the fruit for
Yeah.
me because then I'd have to put it somewhere else. But I did find some really cool glass fruits too that
Yeah.
I have in the kitchen, which are fun, like a bell
Yeah.
pepper and those are really pretty too.
Yep.
But
Yep.
but yeah, the hunt, I love it. So if you're out
Yeah.
there and you've listened today, go to an antique store. If you don't do it very often, like maybe once a year, find a cool antique mall near you or make it a point when you're traveling to just find out if there's an antique store or mall in the area and just take a cup of coffee with you or whatever and just take a walk. You
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
go to look for something. Don't do what I used to do, which is go antiquing with people to try to find something because you feel like you have to buy something when you go to the antique mall. Maybe
Right.
just think about it as like, I'm just going to walk down memory lane for a while and just let the memories come into you, sit with you, bring
Yeah.
you joy,
Yeah.
and and tell your stories to the vendors because then people like Rachel
I love it.
um,
I love
can
that's one of
can
the
hear
things.
things and yeah, I bet that's
Yeah,
the
that's one
best
of the
part of the
things that I
day.
love most about being in we all have stories, and the things that we keep are some of the stories that we keep too.
Absolutely.
There's stuff attached, and that's, I'm creating this history show too, and I don't know, we haven't talked about this on here, but that's one of the threads in within this history show because it's tied to antiques, it's tied to where they come from, the stories behind them, and
Hmm.
that's like, why do we keep these things? We
Yeah.
keep them because of the nostalgia, because they are special to us. Sometimes, like I've got a lot of mid-century beautiful vintage glass, and I just keep those because they're pretty. I have no connection to
Right.
them. But most of the things in my home are things that I am connected to. So like Rima was saying, when you go to that antique mall, don't get the things that you think, "Oh, this person thinks it's cool, so I should think it's cool." Get what
Right.
speaks to you and fills a little special spot in your heart. Some of the things that
Absolutely.
come across the counter when I'm there, I'm like, "Why the heck? How did this sell? This is the weirdest, most random thing," but
Yeah.
it's because it spoke to that person. And
Absolutely.
and it reminds them of something, and I think in times that feel a little crazy, those things that help ground us, I think that's okay. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
okay
do
to
too.
look for those things and find them and get joy from them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening today, and I hope that you find something that brings you joy, a little tidbit somewhere that some little light goes off, some little heartbeat in your heart, and don't feel guilty if you have to let things go, because once again, you got to lose it to find it.
I feel like I should do a this episode brought to you by Rose City Antiques and Vintage.
That's right.
You can
You
find
just
us
did
on
it. You
Instagram,
you
TikTok,
oh
and
wow, she's
Facebook.
doing it. She's really doing it, you guys.
Rose
Like, there
City
you go.
Antiques and Vintage.
Okay. All right,
Alri
honey.
I
I
love
love you.
you. Yeah.
Good to see you. We'll talk next week in the
Okay,
room.
sounds great. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.